Hey everybody, welcome to our review of Abbott Elementary.
Hey!
Here on YouTube, we are covering Abbott Elementary Season 2, all season long. So get comfortable and get cozy with us, your two faves.
Or something.
Yeah, or something to that effect. It won't be a recap show. This will be more so of a review series of what we feel and all the stuff of where we think it's going.
Memories inside it, how we're relating to the characters, all of that.
All that. So we have 3 episodes so far. And it really kind of gives you an insight in the beginning of what really teachers go through before, because I remember it's not the first day of school.
No.
I know the teachers go back before us, but I was always super involved in like school, so I had to go back when they did.
Oh,
like in high school.
Okay.
Like in high school I did, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was hashtag overachiever.
Wow.
Yeah, I did. But we open with this season of Development Day, and we learn a couple things of where they are over what happened over the summer. So let's talk about Janine.
Oh, Janine.
My girl's, my girl's down bad.
Janine's so enjoyable because we all know a Janine. Okay,
Yeah.
When Janine was in the car talking about, I switched things up, my parts from one side to the other. You see the vibes, you see the difference. I was like, I've always had an employee who won't come through with some mediocre ass shit and talk to me about something.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. And I watched this first episode with my husband, who is a teacher. And the really interesting part was watching the traumatic response of how he was reacting to pre-shift to pre-season. He was like, he hates
Development week.
He hates development week. It's like, it's a waste of motherfucking time, nigga. I hate it. Let me get my last week of sleep. But anyway, go on.
So, Janine lost her boo thing. She broke up with Tariq, which was well needed. She needed to, sometimes you got to know when to, let things die and move on. And he's done moved to Brooklyn and Bushwick. And because of course he is, because every modern person who wants to be a rapper lives in Bushwick now.
Absolutely.
Sorry, friend.
Absolutely. He probably. Where do you think he moved to?
Oh, I know he moved off the L. What is that? The Irving stop? Is that what it is?
That makes sense. That makes sense that he went because the rent might be a smidge. Well, actually, I don't know what the rent is in Williamsburg right now. I'm not even gonna hold you. He could have also moved to what these little newfangled people like to call East Williamsburg, which is Bushwick, and he might be somewhere off the J as well.
Yeah, he also might be in Greenpoint.
You think? He's not giving me Greenpoint.
He wears those pants.
Oh, photographer pants.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, Janine is really trying hard to not let her breakup impact her personal life. She's doing her best trying to hold it all together. And, breakups are hard. We've all been there with this idea of like, I'm going to work through it. I tried to work it away.
She's in that, what is that stage? They got the stages of grief and breakup. They got the anger.
Oh, denial.
Denial.
She's the first stage, denial.
Yes.
Yeah, it's denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance.
Or maybe it's depression. Maybe it's denial, depression.
She's in denial. She ain't got to the anger part
yet. No.
You know why? She ain't got to the anger part yet? Because of the fact that she's behind on her rent by 3 months because Tariq was paying 20% of the rent, and two, she gets a boot on her car and doesn't do anything about it. She's just kind of like, oh my gosh, I'm sad, but no, it's his things, his tickets,
It's also her lack of experience in this world, which
True.
You forget when you're in a working setting with people a lot of times that everybody is at different stages in life, right? But you automatically assume, let me not say assume, you automatically associate the people that you work with as adults, because everybody got a job, right? So there's some kind of skill that you had to bring to this to be able to get this, take care of yourself. You forget some of your employees are 20 or, just lacking life experience in general. You might end up with an employee or a coworker like, what's her face on Getting On, Miss Swan. Janine gives me kind of another version of that, where you forget she's fully inexperienced in life, and I think sometimes we forget that.
Yeah, virgins, man.
When that girl said, "That's not on me; those are his responsibilities," I was like, "Oh, baby."
Yeah, she's going through it, and throughout the season too, and it's almost like she's sublimating all these things and throwing herself into work because that's what she feels she's good at. Because as we move on in another episode, we see her, trying her hard and her damnedest to make sure Abbott is not only a great place for her kids, but also a great place for her because of the fact that, her white homeboy gives her money to, to pay her rent, which we'll talk about him in a little bit.
Yeah.
But, is the fact that she's, trying to make this more of a home for her because she realizes that I'm going to be here for a while because I'm going to throw myself into my work because this is what I know how to do and this is what's comfortable to me.
Mm-hmm.
But this is not to go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, her inexperience also leads her to an unrealistic viewpoint of where she works, and also a bit of that immature competitive spirit where it's like she takes pride in where she works, but almost too much to the point where it's like, well, we're better than that. Well, we do this over here. And it's like, no, baby, you got to think like Barbara. We are where we're at, and we got to work with that. Okay?
Bingo. Exactly. Mm-hmm. We also see Janine is getting a little bit of a spine. She's not as, being the pushover that she normally was last season. Mm-hmm. She's now a third-year teacher. So, now she's getting more comfortable in her skin. Okay. And, and she's standing down to Miss Howard and Melissa. And, and Ava's still doing her thing. But, it sounds like Janine is finally more comfortable in her skin and especially in the professional setting, which I guess, as a teacher does take time,
Yeah.
Or in any place.
Especially when you're a first-year teacher. Last season, she was a first-year teacher, so now it's like, okay, you know how it is when you come back as a sophomore? You know what it is. You're like, all right, I'm in this bitch. I'm in here now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she's also grown more with her relationship with Jacob. That's her BFF, her nosy, instigating, white, gay BFF.
Mm-hmm. With a black boyfriend.
Black? No, Zach.
He's black.
No, plenty of those. Like, so you met it and you saw each other and you just wanted more. Like, sure.
Yeah. You thought, I'm going to be with that.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, the endearing thing about Jacob this season is, mine is him being nosy, and, white people can't help but being nosy. It's their nature, you know what I mean?
And also talking her business, because don't accidentally see an email on my computer and then go and proceed to tell everybody and then be like, well, I had to tell them. You need some help. Yes. But no, that's not how we do that.
Not at all.
I'm reporting you to HR.
Exactly. You don't let me see your secret white emails. Leave my secret black emails alone. Okay?
Jacob's probably one of the only ones who don't get secret white emails.
Yeah, they leave him because he's corny. And you know, this season he realizes that he's corny and he's devastated about it. Yeah. And you know, some people don't know that they're corny. You know, some people are just, you know, believe in their delusions of grandeur and thinks everything is hunky dory and whatever. And it's just like, no, sometimes this shit ain't cute. And sometimes it's like, oh, I can see why you drink Franzia all by yourself.
Not Franzia.
You know the guy died recently?
Who?
The guy who invented Franzia?
Who invented Franzia?
Franzia? The guy that just died.
I hate you so much. Franzia.
Anywho, but yeah, Jacob is leaning more into his friendship with Janine. We also see a moment that was very endearing is that he's learning sign language, or ASL, and he is relating to his children more. Oh, you found out?
First and foremost, all right, so they're produced by the Wine Group, known for its box wines.
Mm-hmm.
The Wine Group is now the third largest wine company in the world, behind Constellation Brands and E&J. E&J is one of the top 3 brands in the world. Okay, today has no business relationship with Fred. So Fred Franzia is the one who died of the Bronco Wine Company. But they sold the brand to Coca-Cola in 1973. Then it was sold to the Wine Group in 1981. Coca-Cola bought Franzia for a period of time. Didn't they buy McDonald's too? No, that was McDonald's. Wait, no, that was Chipotle and McDonald's. Anyway, continue.
So, Jacob is learning himself. He's learning ASL.
No, I think you said it right the first time, because he was wrong a lot. I think he's learning himself.
Okay, that's what I thought. Sure. Well, he's self-teaching ASL because he has a person who's hearing impaired in the classroom. And, I think that's a theme this season too, this idea of the different types of students that teachers will encounter.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like how they always put a message in, because then you have Miss Barbara, and she's got the differently abled student who's coming through in the wheelchair, and she's trying to. So I love how the theme of episode 1 was like, we got to make do. First of all, we have to accept where we're at, and then from there we got to make do with what we got. And I appreciate that. It's a very Black and resilient thought process.
Yeah, and it carries that. I think that's a theme throughout this season too, because you got to work with what you got. Because remember in episode 2, where they go to the charter school, and so they see everything is better, and Janine is trying to, we need computers, and Ava wants to play Shark Tank.
She's like, computer. Everybody's like, bitch, we don't want to Shark Tank. She's like, we Shark Tanking. It's happening.
Yeah. I love Shark Tank, by the way. Shark Tank is amazing. First of all, Scrub Daddy, that's the Shark Tank invention. The Scrub Daddy.
Scrub Daddy. Hold on. What's the Scrub
Fabulous
Daddy?
sponge.
Oh, it's a sponge.
Yes, girl.
Hold
170 million sold.
Wait a minute. That was a Shark Tank item?
Lori Grenier helped them out.
Oh, why they got the sad face? Sad Daddy. Now what's that?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, that's sad. Why would y'all even have that? They got us because you know how the Soft Daddy has how Scrub Daddy has the smiley, the Sad Daddy does not. Why would y'all create this depressing ass sponge? Anyway.
So, where was I?
Shark Tank.
Oh yeah, so yeah, she's playing Shark Tank, and Janine, they learn that they have a mouse infestation, and they can't do what they need to do with the grant money to get a computer lab to compete with the charter school. And again, it's you got to make do with what you got and do what's best for the kids. Abbott is falling apart, and it's a greater discussion than just that little grant money that they won last season.
It's also leads to a larger conversation of the lack of resources in a lot of public school districts and so forth, and no matter the city, but especially in inner cities, and how they have to negotiate and figure out what seems to be the most important or the most immediate of necessities. And the fact that is how they have to work based off of, all right, we can only choose one. Out of the 10 things we need, we can only choose one because this is how much you all are allotting us. It's real nasty. It shows how our system and our government works.
Yeah. Big time ugh. So Ava is herself this season. She's never stopped being herself. And however, she still has a soft spot for the kids, She still hates Janine and stuff, but she does see Janine's point in wanting to make the kids feel special, because kids should feel special at school, because oftentimes they're not made to feel special at home. So, unfortunately. So Ava goes out of her way to get a water ice. Shout out to Philly.
Water ice.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right.
Water ice.
Cherry.
Rita's.
Cherry. And you got to get it with a pretzel. Okay? A water ice and a pretzel.
Exactly. And, she's coming into this idea of like, maybe I need to be a better principal. Although there are moments where there's the teacher who's been there for 9 years, and she was like, "Who are you?"
I fucking screamed. She was like, "Stand out more. Do more to stand out." Miss Howard is going through. Let me just tell you, Sheryl Lee Ralph is proving every episode why she deserved that Emmy. Okay.
Because let me tell you, one of the funniest things that I have seen in television, modern television, is her confusing white actors and black celebrities, like white and black celebrities.
When she said Brian Austin Green, and they clarified that meant Brian Tyree Henry, I screamed audibly.
Yeah.
I screamed. And also, is that not me?
It's also me too, because I don't.
What?
And then part of me, I was like, Brian Austin Green, and I was like, oh, from 90210 Melrose, and then I was like,
no,
he from the Tori Spelling era. But then I was like, wasn't he mixed? Because remember back in the day, because he gave like John B vibes, because he had the brown. Yes, he did. He gave like ethnic friendly,
He's giving spicy white. Like
in the backpack days. In the backpack days, though.
Yeah, I was like, I've never known him to.
Oh well, he gave me,
I was like, he's very white.
But anywho, Barbara's camp going through every celebrity. The Michelle Williams, where they were like so close.
That was also incredible. She was like, because she knew exactly who she was talking about. That aspect, everybody was like, which one? It's the two Spider-Men, Michelle Williams.
Yeah. Moved all the way from Dawson's Creek. They're like,
oh, okay, not Destiny's Child, not Destiny's Child.
No.
Michelle Williams.
But listen, I do the same thing all the time. All the time.
What did I call that girl? Sharon, Michelle, Jessica Parker?
Completely different people.
But in my mind,
So this season, Melissa
Miscamatchy.
we're getting a lot more of her this season. She's still with Vending Machine Boo.
Okay.
Listen, they went down to the shore, and I mean, everybody got to have a summer love.
All of them in their little summer activities were cracking me up, between Ava making sure that Gregory saw her Instagram posts. And I love how blatant she is with it as the principal, and the fact that they're like, HR what? Who? What? It don't even matter. Land Barbara and C Barbara, because I too
very different people.
Have two different people living inside of me. And then her going down to the shore, which is very relatable. If you know anything about, if you live anywhere on the East Coast, you know who's going to the shore. You know what type of childhood they had. She talked about, the faint smell of cigarettes and vinegar. And I said, I know exactly how you grew up. Then we learn a little bit more about her background, which we always get, we get her little commentary and shit like that. But we meet her sister, episode 2?
Mm-hmm.
Who happens to be a teacher over at the charter school that they are DK competing against.
Which is low-key, they're tethered.
Yes, it is. It's very us. It's like Abbott Elementary does us.
Yeah, they have a young Mr. Johnson there, who, by the way, Mr. Johnson is a lovely delight to be full-time this season.
Yes.
The cleaner image.
Yeah.
I think,
Yes.
He used to be in a band, like a funk band in real life in St. Louis.
I'm not surprised by that.
Yeah, I learned that on watching the cast Vanity Fair videos on YouTube.
I'm trying to think where else I've seen him from. Haven't we seen him on other stuff? We haven't? Mm-hmm. He has one of those faces.
I don't believe so, no. Yeah, he gives congenial uncle face.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Congenial uncle face.
And it works for him. He's himself, true to himself. Quite wise, but lived many lives.
Yes. Not taken seriously enough.
No.
He'd be saying some
but yes,
shit.
and also with Melissa, we see something that teachers face a lot. And I remember a problem growing up, especially here in California, overcrowding of schools. So she already has a full class of second grade, and now she's taking on 10 third graders. So now she has a whole class of 30 students. That's a lot of MFs.
Nigga, and the fact that they had to, the fact that they just threw it on her, which is another thing they do to teachers, when they came there and they were like, oh yeah, we don't have enough, we're short staffed, so you gotta do this. And it's no option, it's no choice, it's no conversation, it's just figure it out.
But also Ava did offer her an aid, and she didn't want it at first because, I got this, I'm all this, and Barbara kind of encouraged this behavior, girl, we OGs, we got this. But we soon realized that that's too many MFs, you know what I mean?
Nigga, that's a class of 35. I can't watch over 35 niggas, I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, nah, I can't do that. So she eventually gets an aide named Ashley, and let me tell you, waiting for Ashley. Oh, I will forever sing it that way. Forever.
Their little references on this show are...
Let me tell you something, because when Gregory said that Jacob gave a Black Sean King performance,
screamed, do you hear me? Screamed. Screamed.
That's when I was like, oh, Quinta's my kind of people.
Yo, Quinta, when I tell you Quinta is doing the work in the writer's room with the rest of the writers, I was like, oh, we caught that. We caught that.
Yeah. Whoever wrote this episode, shout out to you, because that was a great line.
Yes.
That was a great line.
Yes.
This season with Gregory, I feel like we're gonna go on a journey.
Yes.
We learned that he and Barbara's daughter, Taylor, they were on the rocks and they eventually broke up. And he was real like awkward about it at work because again, that's her mama and y'all work together. Like that's hella awkward, bro.
Yep.
First of all, you shouldn't even did that from jump. Like, don't shit where you eat, and definitely, like you said, don't shit where her mama eat. Like,
it don't work out all the time, says the
No.
person who married their coworker. It don't always work out. But no, not when it's not with a parent. Not when y'all are so casual and so. And he about to do it again.
Right, and so Gregory's idea is like, I'm not into her because she's too bougie. She's into small plates. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not the biggest tapas person. I think it's a scam where restaurants have big plates and small plates. I think if you're going to do that, you should just have courses. I think just get the whole gamut. Just don't give me...
Well, it gives you choices.
You could have choices during a coursed meal.
See, as a chef, and also just as a nigga who likes food, I like tapas because it gives me the opportunity. I am the type of bitch who orders up the menu. You know what I'm saying? I want to try everything if we're at a good spot. So it gives me the opportunity to literally try everything. And then we'd be like, let me get 3 of those when they're good.
Yeah, I can see that. But all the time, though, like, nah.
Well, not all the time, but when I'm going out with my... if I'm going out with my culinary people, or I'm going out, on a date, or, with Tristan, or if I'm like, if I want to go have a nice restaurant experience, and I know that they're known for like so many different dishes, then I'm going to go and I want to try all kinds of shit. So I don't mind a tapas style menu. I don't mind that.
I don't know. Tapas invites people who wear Sperry's, so I don't really, And it's true. Don't tell me that it's not a thing. Don't tell me that it's not a thing, because it is a thing.
Did you say niggas who wear Sperry's? Like boat shoes?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like
tapas
they'd be more
is a
in
boat
the Irish
shoe type
pubs,
of adventure.
Right?
That too. But, for date night, for specific types of people who wear Sperry shoes. Like, they wear Sperry shoes in untucked shirts. Not actually untucked, but by untucked themselves.
Okay.
And they work at tech startups like Oscar.
Yes. Yeah. Lemonade.
Yeah. Love Lemonade, by the way. They're my insurance.
Also same. What? Renter's insurance for the win.
But Jacob gives Gregory some advice. Although Mr. Johnson tells him, like, you could write her a letter and say you got drafted into the war, which
that worked, nigga, back in the 60s or the 50s.
We used to be a proper country.
We did. You know what I'm saying? You used to be forced to enlist.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's back in the days when you was sitting down a sibling who was pregnant and they'd come back after a summer in the South, and all of a sudden you got a new sister.
Exactly. That's also a time where that was a time when there was no internet, technology, cell phones, and so a nigga could tell somebody he got drafted and then still exist because all he has to do is just worry about not running into her. If he runs into her, then he just tell her like, "Oh, I came home for a period of time."
Mm-hmm. All you had to do back then was run up north. You see?
Truly, yeah.
So eventually Jacob
town.
describes, So Jacob describes petering, which is soft ghosting.
Soft ghosting.
Which, yeah, and it's like you take an exclamation point away here, and you pull away, all to find out that Taylor was petering Gregory, and Barbara ended up telling Gregory.
And Barbara knew. The whole time.
The whole time.
When she said, I think she said, "You a broke boy," I cackled. Do you hear me?
Exactly.
Hold on. What? You did a great job, but you see, I'm literally in the middle of recording. I need you to go get in the shower right now. You did an amazing job. Thank you. Abbott Elementary in my motherfucking house. How do you feel about petering?
As someone who is, has a master's degree in passive aggressive behavior, I feel as though that
you do.
It is a kinder way to ghost somebody, because there's one ghosting is just automatically disappearing, and niggas could think you died or in jail or something, whereas petering, which is a weird name anyway, I feel like they're still alive, but it's like it's easier to take the hint that somebody's not really into you like that.
But don't you find that there are people, i.e. Janine, i.e. Jacob, who don't always know how to take a hint? So what do you do in those events?
I mean, both concepts are stupid. Don't get me wrong.
It is a kinder way of ghosting, but it's also pussy.
Yeah, it is. Because, and I don't, it's just a nicer way of being, somebody without a spine. That's all. Okay. And for those people who can't get a clue, well, then you move to a cross town or another state, or you move up north.
And you draft. And you say that you were drafted.
Yeah, you write a letter, say that you were drafted. This season is shaping up to be pretty awesome and fantastic.
Absolutely.
I can't wait to see what else unfolds with them. We'll see Gregory's journey. Hopefully he finally gets with Janine.
No. See, am I the only person who does not want this to happen?
No, I don't want it to happen either. Everybody wants it to happen, and I get that it has to happen because that's the way television works.
Yeah.
But I don't want it to happen. I
don't.
Yeah, me either.
It's going to end badly. Or it may end very well, right? Where they both... I don't...
It's going to end badly because, when you end up with coworkers...
Listen, and then you got old girl, you got Ava, who is obsessed with him. How you think a corrupt boss like Ava is going to react to y'all being...
Exactly.
Doing the do.
So they're going to be up here teaching Saturday school. Right.
That's all I'm saying.
But anywho, we will catch you all next time for our review of the next episode, where I can't wait because I see that Melissa has plastic all over her couches. And I am excited to see what that's
Doesn't she give you plastic on the sofa anyways? Like big plastic on the sofa vibes. No, I'm excited. We just kind of wanted to give you all a little tidbit of what was going to be happening for the next coming weeks. We know that we had to hurry up and kind of catch up with 3 episodes, which is why, like XD said, we're not doing a recap, but we can get a little bit more into the themes of the episodes as we focus and the weeks go on. So we'll see you all next week right here on YouTube.
Bye, y'all.